two shape-shifting subspace beings, resting in the center of their universe as colorful characters do battle around them. One of these beings simply wants to join in on the fun, while the other wants to bring their worlds to subspace, or turn them into trophies, or something. I don't know, trying to figure out if Subspace Emissary has an actual plot is kinda difficult. It's mostly just crossover fun. But anyways, it's Gamecrazed from Tome versus Tabuu from Super Smash Bros. According to the Discord poll, Tabuu has this one in the bag. But like many episodes before this, that may just be because of the fact that more people know Tabuu and Gamecrazed is kind of obscure. So people are just voting what they know. Let's see if it works out this time. This is Versus Battle Cards. Diving into the arsenal, and we can see that Gamecrazed has all kinds of cool powers. With the elemental abilities of shadows, Gamecrazed can travel in these shadows and become nearly invisible, or stick to different surfaces, even if they're upside down. He can even do this with other characters to transport them. Gamecrazed can also shoot little shadow balls as projectile attacks, and he can shapeshift into giant fists or grow his whole body in size. He's also got a bladed arm for slicing damage. But that's not all. Gamecrazed doesn't just have the power of shadows, but he literally is a shadow, or a puppet, of an AI called Softy. Softy is a living computer program created by complete accident, and while I'm not going to go into the complete backstory, you need to watch Tome yourself, I do need to note that Softy is her own entity and doesn't follow the restrictions of Tome's game mechanics. Because of this, Gamecrazed is able to do all kinds of things that other players aren't able to. For example, Gamecrazed is able to neutralize and take over other players' elemental attacks. Gamecrazed can continue to return no matter how many times the shadow gets destroyed. He can repair and reprogram parts of Tome's world. And if Softy's emotions get too out of control, it will create a virus. A virus commonly referred to as the forbidden power that produces a pain so intense it travels across realities, from its virtual world into our own world. Now, Tabuu doesn't have a ton of special and unique attributes like that aside from his shockwaves that can turn everyone into trophies, but he does have a massive list of other standard damage dealing abilities. Tabuu can also shapeshift into giant blades. He can fly and teleport. He has a giant chain whip for lassoing foes. He can shoot tons of mini lasers or a ball of electricity from his hands and fingers. He can charge at you with a subspace knife or create explosions out of nowhere. He can summon a gigantic laser cannon or grow gigantic himself and shoot lasers from his eyes. He can surround his whole body in electricity, or he could just smack you around a bunch himself. He can throw subspace shurikens, and finally he can toss you around as a group of magical sparkles. So, with all of this covered, I'm gonna have to say the arsenal category is a tie. Tabuu absolutely has the larger arsenal by quite a bit, but Gamecrazed has a good deal of unique and very potent abilities that I feel makes up for the lack of numbers. So they're about even. Let's see what the YouTube comments are thinking though. Speed is pretty easy to determine. These two have some clear feats. For Gamecrazed, characters in Tome are already lightning fast. Alpha literally uses lightning to attack, and Nylok can jump to Tome's sun and back in the blink of an eye. Now this isn't a real sun, it's Tome's artificial sun which hangs in the sky and not some kind of outer space. But it's still an impressive feat, leading to lightning-like speeds. Besides, Gamecrazed himself has moved in tandem with beams of light, traveling at about 30% of their speed, leading to relativistic stats. Tabuu, though, breaks the tie that the previous category set and steps ahead with his speed. Not only do several of his attacks shoot lasers and beams of light themselves, but his shockwaves were quick enough to blitz pretty much the entire cast of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And many of these characters would go on to show in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that they're capable of temporarily dodging light beams from Galeem. Now, you may be pointing to characters like Mario and saying, well, if Tabuu can blitz Mario, then he should be billions of times massively faster than light. However, characters in Super Smash Bros. Are trophies and not the actual characters. Their feats should be self-contained. Besides, Tabuu is still faster than Gamecrazed anyways. I mean, 30% the speed of light versus possibly 30% faster than light? There you go. Gamecrazed is able to tie things back up when it comes to strength though. Now Tabuu is very strong. He of course rules over subspace. a pocket dimension that's a giant void full of stars. He's also able to contain and manipulate several parts of Smash's world, including its sun. And while Palutena didn't show up until Smash for 3DS and Wii U, Tabuu should still be above her level in strength, despite the fact that she can create black holes. So, solar system level to multi-solar system level for Tabuu sounds about right. When we look at Gamecrazed, we also have to look at Softy, an AI that's above Tome's mechanics and can manipulate the entire world. So to find out how strong Softy is, we need to figure out how big Tome is. Tome's mech city is heavily inspired by New York City, and should be comparable in size. And it's surrounded by two other landscapes of equal mass. The Net Kings, who Gamecrazed can also scale to, are able to create massive black clouds that cover this entire land. Add Tome's artificial sun on top of all that and it leads to multi-continental levels of power. Now that may seem like nothing compared to Tabuu, but there's actually something else I missed when I covered Tome for the first time in Versus. Something pretty big. The battle grid. Now typically battle grids are just invisible walls to keep other players out from interrupting a match. However, the Net Kings have completely unique battle grids with their own interactable landscapes, including Webmaster who, just like Tabuu, rules over a void full of stars. Meaning Gamecrazed and Softy are able to tie Tabuu with multi-solar system levels of power. Let's see what the Discord predictions are thinking. The bonus category is all Taboos, but not in a good way. The only thing I have to say here is why Tabuu can't do certain stuff. For example, can Tabuu have a Master Hand since after all in Brawl it revealed he was in control? And the answer is no. Tabuu controlled Master Hand against his will. As soon as Master Hand was free, he directly tried to attack Tabuu. So the Master Hands aren't part of his arsenal, they were mind-controlled or held prisoner or something. And next, can Tabuu scale to Galeem who eclipsed the entire Super Smash Bros. Universe? And no. Tabuu is a spirit in Smash Ultimate's World of Light mode, implying that he too was one-shot by Galeem's beams of light. It's not all gloom and doom for Tabuu though. Despite not being able to receive these little buffs, he still has enough to defeat Gamecrazed and become the winner of this match. This was an extremely close battle. Both Gamecrazed and Tabuu were on very similar levels of power. And Tabuu's gigantic shopping list of different attacks helped him to keep up with all of Gamecrazed's unique abilities. But Tabuu's speed helped him out a lot. Where Gamecrazed is only 30% the speed of light, Tabuu is able to match light and even surpass it a bit. His teleportation in flight is also a lot more useful for mobility compared to Gamecrazed just traveling through the shadows. Not to mention, if Gamecrazed is here in battle, then Softy is here somewhere too. And Softy is extremely vulnerable. If Tabuu discovered Softy, it wouldn't be too hard to destroy her and Gamecrazed along with her. But let me know what you guys think, and thank you for predicting in this episode. Be sure to predict the next time too with a comment down below, a comment in my Discord server, voting in the Discord poll, or making a video prediction for me to put in the next episode. We actually have a really fun one next time. These two wacky characters may not have the incredible bending abilities or raw strength of the other characters around them, but they both make up for it heavily with their battle creativity, and their expertise in being an incredible comic relief. They also both have the best love lives in their shows. Basically, they're both already winners before the episode even comes out. It's Sokka of the Water Tribe from Avatar: The Last Airbender versus Aoki Masaru from Hajime no Ippo.